We don't neglect our members. We have to appreciate them right out loud. Are you in for 1 or 7? 3B.
So the laptop time is off, but we're at 6:58 right now. And Carol, I started the recording.
Very good. I heard that. Thank you.
Wilson, do you have a report for me to put up on the screen or no?
I think it's close enough to 7 o'clock to get started. Boy, I got a lot of gain there, don't I? What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, we can turn up Carol, turn me down. It's a better place to be. With that, I think we'll start with self-introductions. My name is Phil, KD6RM. We'll go to Tom.
My name is Tom. I'm Whiskey 6 Bravo Sierra.
Sylvia, Sierra 6 Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Mike, Kilo Oscar 6 Charlie India Lima.
I'm Hank. Kilo 6 Hotel Uniform Hotel.
Jim, Kilo Foxtrot 6 Juliet Foxtrot.
John, Whiskey Alpha 6 Whiskey Sierra Tango.
It's Gert, Kilo 6 Zulu Golf Alpha.
I'm Diane, and I do not have a call sign.
Bob, Kilo Oscar 6 Charlie Uniform.
It's Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot.
Arthur, KD6 GBY. Good to be here.
Mike, Kilo 7 Golf Foxtrot Mike.
Bill, November 6th, Hotel Alpha.
Neil, Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo.
I'm Bob, November 6 Papa Golf Quebec.
I'm Alan, Kilo Oscar 6 Alpha Golf Whiskey. Sitting next to me is a new guy here too, Jeff, who is unlicensed as well, and we were talking about getting licensed. So make sure you say hello to him.
Jeff, make sure you learn the handshake.
Rick, Kilo Mike 6 Mike Zulu Yankee.
Ken, Kilo Echo 6 Romeo Michael November.
I'm Glenn, KM6 RGQ.
I'm Ben, K6 GEO.
Good call.
Garrett, Kilo Golf 6 Sierra Mike X-Ray.
Okay. Behind me where? Oh, I was about to go to the screen. Hi, Carol.
Hi, this is Carol, KP4MD Portable, and I'm your Vice President and also the ARRL Sacramento Valley Section Manager.
And then we've got Bill, N6EF.
Good evening, all. Bill, November 6 Echo Fox.
And then we've got Stephen, K6BZ. Did we scare you? Space bar. Hit the space bar. And then we've got Daryl, KM6KFW.
Yeah, Daryl Woodland. Good evening.
I think we've got everybody covered. Thank you all. With that, next on my agenda is Wilson's treasurer report. Do we want to do that? I'll pass the baton.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate everybody as well. So, good evening. It's Wilson, and I'm your treasurer.
Can you speak up, Wilson?
Yeah, I'm Wilson, November 6th, Echo Mike Foxtrot, and I'm your treasurer. I've got the treasury report for the period ending, I don't see it on the screen, but I have it here. It's the period, what I do is a monthly report. I only do one report per month, and this one ended on June 25th. And I haven't made any updates to this report since then, but it was approved by the board on a couple days later or same day. First thing I wanted to roll out is that we have 4 new members, so welcome members. And yes, I will announce their names, and I want to apologize to any members that I haven't recognized. There'd be a couple of reasons for that. Is like I said, my report cut off on June 25th, and I've been busy with work and other things, so I might not be caught up on memberships, but I'll catch you on the next round, and I'll write you an email welcoming you to the club shortly. But our 4 new members are Stephen Smith, Kilo 6 Bravo Zulu, Jeffrey Embler, Kilo November 6 Zulu Zulu Juliet, and Jim Nessing, Kilo 6 Juliet Whiskey November, and Dara E, Whiskey 6 Mike Papa Oscar. So welcome all the new members. And I also kind of wanted to acknowledge the evergreen donors because I don't think I've done it before. Hey, Stephen, I see you online there. K6BZ. Stephen, thank you for joining in. Welcome. All right. So there are evergreen donors. We have 2 evergreen donors, and they have been contributing to the repeater fund monthly quite consistently, and I appreciate that. David Mink is Kilo Mike 6, Golf Yankee Mike. That is David Mink. And we also have Larry Upjohn, Kilo Charlie 6, Tango Romeo Hotel. Getting rusty on my phonetics. But yeah, so the total membership count for the club includes 166 people, and general membership is 131. There are 17 family members that are part of family memberships, 11 life members, and 7 inactive members. But it could be that we're trying to get them to recognize that their dues need to be paid, or maybe they're just not responsive at this time for one reason or another. So the financial report is where we're going to come up to next. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's KI1. Oh, Carol. KI1, KP4MD, all the way from Colorado, or not Colorado, Puerto Rico for no delay. So I appreciate that. No latency. It's like you're coming in within a millisecond. But yeah, so we have the Safe Credit Union monthly balance for May. The previous report was 8828. And the income we got during that reporting period here is $808, including significant amount of membership dues, $695 membership dues, and a tribute to Jen KI1TTY over here. She mostly this month had done a lot of database work in Ham Club Online to prepare the database to send invoices, basically. So thank you, Jen, for your hard work, and that is resulted in really good dues collections for 2024. I've said it before, I'll just reinforce it here, is that dues have not been collected from all members for 2024. We're about maybe 2/3 there now, I don't know, approximately. And the problem has just been a database glitch that we're trying to develop that database, and you'll see more announcements coming out. So before I continue, unless I'm on a time constraint, can I ask the group, if you have any questions about dues, because I did get some feedback that there might have been some confusing communication around dues payments. So let me know, N6EMF, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to continue, but do you have anything? Okay. Yeah.
This Ham Club Online thing has proven to be quite a godsend. I got a report today from Ham Club Online giving us statistics of active members, expiring soon members, of which there are 45. Inactive members are listed. Board members active are listed, total membership, and the total membership is 165 on this. It's missing the last one that you added. So this particular system, this Ham Club Online, gives us some great tools, and it should simplify everybody's life. I mean, this thing automatically tracks the last time you pay. A year from that, it sends you a bill. I mean, it's simple. I'm going to give this back to the boss.
Thank you, Dr. Press. Appreciate that. As you heard him say, I can't remember the precise number, but 40-something unpaid, I think is what it meant. And 40 out of 160, that's closing in on the getting dues paid for the year. I think next year is going to be a lot easier for us. One last thing. Yeah, there's one fundamental cause. One cause is that you weren't notified that your dues were due. You weren't invoiced. You weren't sent a bill. That's kind of from my perspective, what happened. The reasons why that didn't happen is because the Ham Club Online database for us wasn't prepared properly from the beginning. And so the membership records for membership end dates were not correct. So we're trying to correct that record by record. Did you want to?
For years, the way we handle this is in our newsletter, we sent out January 1 dues are due. And I know everybody pays very close attention to Ken's newsletter, right? Almost. So the bottom line is you never got a bill. And, you know, if you don't send somebody a bill, the odds are pretty good he's not going to pay it. So there was never a system in place to send bills to our members. We kind of relied on them to figure out that they owed us some money. And so it was a very loosely structured method. This one is much more refined and it's tidy. And these guys have done a yeoman job, particularly Jennifer and Wilson here, in getting this database tidied up so that life is easy. We don't want to mess around collecting money. We want to have some fun. And I think we just about got that nailed. Back to you, Wilson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Phil, for that update. It's good to have an Elmer when you're talking about, you know, dues and stuff like that. And so the expenditures, jumping down to expenditures, we had about $84 of expenditures this month, or this reporting period. We got the DMV trailer registration paid, woohoo, $10.21, and a couple of other things which are pretty much routine type charges. We're going to see some expenses coming in next month from the field day, but that isn't here yet. Welcome, James. That's AE6JG. And funds, we have, as of the end of June, the $9,719 in the account. We have a little over 3,000 in the repeater fund and nearly 6,000 in the general fund. I think we're doing pretty good. There's a couple of languishing tasks that need to be handled, but I'm starting to get some help with them. One of them is the 501c3 status, and there's some other tax filing stuff we're working on and trying to reinforce or bolster the insurance coverage for the club for assets that we have. And I think that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions for the Treasury report? Treasurer's report, rather. Okay, back to you, Phil.
A yeoman job as usual. Website activity. Carol, are you there? there in Puerto Rico?
Okay, you got my sound, right? Am I talking?
Yes.
You are.
Okay, very good. Thanks. Yeah, very good evening, all of you out there. This is the website, the web resources report for actually for the past month of June. And first of all, just to remind everyone that our website is n6na.org, and we try to keep this updated with all the latest information about the club. And if you have any information that you feel you want shared on the website, you're welcome to send it to us at contact@n6na.org. And of course, we also have a bunch of information there about the repeaters, about our nets, and there's even an online swap page. If you have anything you want to list or any wants, you're certainly welcome to send us an announcement. We'll put it up there for you. And I guess the big thing, yeah, this is Field Day is going to be the big deal today for this meeting, and I'm looking forward to a report on Field Day. Plumbing Club events. July 20th, of course, will be our club breakfast at Brookfield's Restaurant, and we have our board meeting on July 23rd. Everyone's welcome, by the way, if you're interested in joining us for the board meeting. They are open. They're conducted on Zoom. Just send us an email to contact@n6na.org, and we'll send you the logon information if you want to attend the board meeting. Next month, tentatively, I believe I'm going to be giving a talk on mitigating RFI. So that's what I had on the schedule. And then, of course, September meeting is going to be homebrew night. October is our white elephant night. November is our club elections. And then December 3rd, I'm sure Phil's going to talk more about our holiday dinner meeting, which is going to be at the Black Bear Diner. And contest for the month of July. Of course, we passed the 13 Colony Special event, which was July 1st to 7th, and that was a lot of fun. This weekend, the International Amateur Radio Union HF World Championships, that's July 13th to 14th. The 20th to 21st, you have the CQ Worldwide VHF Contest and the North American QSO Party Radio Teletype. And the Alabama QSO Party is July 27th and 28th. And just before our next meeting, August 3rd and 4th, will be the North American QSO Party CW and the 1010 International Single Sideband Contest. A reminder about our nets, Wednesday nets, 8 p.m. We have our 2-meter net on 145.25 megahertz repeater, which is also accessible through All-Star and Echolink. Then our 10-meter net, 28.420 megahertz upper sideband is at 8:30. And at 9 p.m. we have our slow scan TV net on 441.30 megahertz, which is also live stream on YouTube. And that has been going strong for 12 years. So, and we have a few years now of videos of all of our slow scan TV nets. A reminder about our backup repeater. Everyone should have this programmed into their 2-meter radio. They need a separate memory with the same frequencies of our main repeater, but with the PL tone of 123.0. And that is being used for the third Wednesday of each month for our Wednesday 8 p.m. net. And we're practicing to use this so that if our main repeater goes down, this backup repeater will be available and everybody be ready to use it. Also a reminder about our 40-meter nets on Saturday, the roundtable net, which is on 7181 kilohertz, 3 p.m. Website activity for the month of June, we had a total of 1,111 views, and the peak web page views were 98, and that was on June 12th. Usually, the peak activity is the day right after our monthly meeting. People go look at the web page because they want to see the link to the video for our meeting. So this recording of this meeting should be up tomorrow for those who couldn't attend. The most visited web pages, of course, the home page, 486 views. Then our field day page was very popular in June. People wanted information about our field day. then our Nets page, repeater page, and a membership page. And most of our hits to the website were referred to by search engines like Bing or Google. Google, and we had 406 direct hits to n6na.org URL, and then others were referred by other web pages, YouTube videos, or social media. And views by region, the lion's share of our views come from the United States. Had 6 views in Puerto Rico, and I think I might have had something to do with that. Netherlands, we had 5 views, and then some other views from other countries. We always get a few visitors from other countries. The YouTube channel had now has 513 subscribers. That's gone up 10 in the past month. And we had 808 views of our videos over the past month. And the main attraction seems to be that rig expert talk by Michael Oretsky. And the Phil Sittner's talk about HF antennas is always still very popular. So we had quite a few visits, 80 visits viewing that. Our Facebook page has 1,112 followers. That's gone up 50 in the past month. That seems to be very popular. And we also have a discussion group there on Facebook with 124 members. Twitter page would have 170 followers, and our Discord chat now has 40 members. And I've got a little bit of eye candy for you all. For those of you interested about my portable operation, this is a view from my balcony. Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta. KP4 is the license prefix that's reserved for the island of Puerto Rico, and I put a slant P so there's no confusion. People know that I'm not actually in California if they look me up. If you go to KP4MD slant P on QRZ.com, it actually shows the Puerto Rico QTH. And this is a view 150 feet up in the air on a condo, and just a few hundred feet away from the shore here, the Atlantic Ocean. This is looking towards the northwest. People call this my saltwater amplifier. It does do a wonderful job of boosting up your signal. This, of course, is the Great Circle map, and it's to show you exactly where the island of Puerto Rico is. It's in the Eastern Caribbean, and it's just to the east of Dominican Republic, Haiti, that island there. So it's a territory of the United States. So you don't need a passport to come here. You don't need to. You can use U.S. dollars, and everything is very convenient. It's very no customs or anything like that. This is my station that I pack and I carry when I operate here. It's a Elecraft KX3. I have the KXPA 100 amplifier. So if I need extra power, I can run 100 watts. This is a little PowerWorks switching power supply, which puts out up to 30 amps. It works very well. And then I even have the little pan adapters as the PX3, and that helps during contest operation with hunt and pounce operation. I could see where the stations are, and I could tune in on them and answer them. This is my laptop computer I'm using right now, and I use this for for logging. And then I brought my little Raspberry Pi. I use this for ham clock, and I run WSJTX for the digital modes here. And if you're interested how I carry that, I pack all of this stuff into a roller bag. This is the way I pack it all in my roller bag with bubble wrap, and I carry it on. I would never put that station into checked baggage, because the way they throw stuff around, you don't want any kind of delicate equipment being checked baggage. So I carry this on and put it in the overhead bin. And I have a copy of my license here, and this helps sometimes with TSA. You know, TSA, of course, they're interested in all this stuff. And I say, yeah, it's a radio transmitter. Here's my license. Never had any trouble passing this through TSA. This is a view of the antenna, the buddy stick antenna. Some of you have this type of antenna. It's put up by Buddy Pole, and it's just a whip antenna with a loading coil here, adjustable loading coil. And I have a little close-up here of the mount. This is the, some people may have seen this JAWS mount that I've used out at Dry Creek Ranch. This is I'm using this as my counterpoint. Well, Phil doesn't like the word counterpoise, but this is the ground connection that the antenna is working against. And since it is painted, there's not a real physical electrical connection. So what I do is I wrap some aluminum foil around here, and it creates a good capacitive coupling to this. And it works very well. I don't need to use the so-called counterpoise wire that comes with this. And I get really good resonance on this antenna. And this is the loading coil. And it's got these little taps on here that I have figured out using my nano VNA. I've got the thing tuned so that I just plug this little wander lead into this here for 40 meters, there for 30 meters, 20 meters, 17 meters. And then for 15 meters, I just take off the coil and I put the 9-foot whip directly onto this other part of the antenna. So it's very simple to switch bands. And there's a view from the beach. I was looking up. You could barely, I don't know how well it's coming over there, but there's my antenna right on my balcony. And there's a little further view. And this shows the condo building that I'm in. And this is a little map showing you where I am located here. And it just shows the ocean facing out towards the north. And this is an example of the context, the tremendous reception I get over here. This is my location right in the center. And this is one night of whisper signals, load of signals coming in from Europe, North America, Australia, South America, and even Antarctica. So this is an excellent location. And just got some other views of the beach here. People like to go jet skiing, of course, sunbathing. And this is some of the local produce, a little kiosk they have right on the beach there if you like the coconuts right from these coconut palms that are growing right on the beach. It is the obligatory selfie. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to show you a little view.
Looks like a hard life, Carol.
Okay, well, that's pretty much it. I thought you'd enjoy a little bit of a tour of my portable station here. So anybody who wants to contact any of the officers or anybody here at the club, you can just send an email to contact@n6na.org, and we will direct it to the appropriate person, get you an answer. Thank you very much. Back to you, Phil.
I see we've got, where'd they go? I thought we had
Bob is there.
Late check-in.
Yeah, Bob is there, K6GCN.
Welcome, Bob. A couple of things I want to follow up on that Carol mentioned. In October, she is our speaker talking about reducing RFI. August. You know, I haven't got spell correct on my sheet here. But in any event, September is going to be interesting. What September is homebrew night, and it's one of my favorite events of the year. And this year, I'm going to take you back to 1959, because that's the year I got my novice license. And I found an old aircraft receiver that was a popular thing to use back in those days. Came out of like a B-29. Vacuum tube, had a little dynamotor on the back of it. And I thought it'd be interesting to take that receiver and make a transceiver out of it. So I used the Nano VNA and the Tiny SA And I built an entire interface in an old other ARC5 receiver that gives me a 30-watt CW transceiver with break-in, full break-in CW transmit receive. It's got a frequency display. It's got shaped peen, if you can imagine such a thing. And it's all built on, I think there's 6 separate little boards that I fabricated. And it performs incredibly well. And I thought you might get a kick out of seeing that. You take the year 2024, you backtrack to 1959, and how you can use stuff we got today for $50 to do engineering you couldn't do back in 1959. It ought to be kind of a fun thing to see. So in any event, that's what's coming up in October. No, in September. October, of course, is our White Elephant Sale. And then November is election. And we talked briefly about our Christmas event. Actually, it's not Christmas, it's holiday. I made arrangements with Rita, who's the manager at the Black Bear Diner on Sunrise. We have a room reserved for a party of 30, which is typically about the size of crowd we draw, on December 2nd, which is the first Tuesday in December, 7 p.m. We're able to order anything we wish from the menu. We aren't stuck with just 3 choices. And they'll do individual checks so that we don't have to do a group bill thing. It's the second Tuesday. It should be December 2nd, I believe. Well, then it should be the 3rd. It's the first Tuesday. So in any event, we're set for our holiday dinner. Now with that, let's talk a little bit about Field Day. And then I'd like to see what kind of discussion results. First of all, we've got to thank Mike and N1YCN and Steve, W6 VDP, for transporting our trailer out to the Field Day site and bringing it back. I think that was a great thing that they did. Not only that, but Neil, KL7HQR, bought 10 ARRL emergency style vests for all of our members to wear at Field Day, and they look sharp. And then Gert produced a bunch of badges for people that identified their titles. The band coordinator and the greeter and the network person and all that stuff. So that looked very professional. It was well done. On Friday, when we first started setting up this antenna arrangement, I think we had somewhere between 12 to 15 people out there helping. And then, of course, on Saturday morning, we had a few more. So we had a good turnout. I was very impressed. How many contacts did we have? How many QSOs? More than 600? Wow. You guys did well. You know, those of you who were operating there, could you give us a little idea how it went?
All right, I was there, Tom. We got there on Friday and around noon and helped put up the antennas and thought we were all good to go. And come Saturday, it was not good to go, at least for the hex beam. But I'll go into that a little later. It was a hot day on Saturday, and we can probably talk about that. And I was glad to have Neil as a greeter. We did have people that I've not seen before come up and say hello. So that was kind of nice. And we had enough people to put the antennas away and relatively cleanly put up and restack the trailer to get it out of there. We said we were going to be ready by noon. We were ready actually with the trailer maybe 20 minutes later. So it wasn't too bad. So we had to make Mike wait a little bit. He and Steve were in a different site for Field Day. So we can ask who else was doing that in a little bit. That's all I've got for now.
Anyone else have comments about their experiences at Field Day? Oh, here's Sylvia. She cooked for everybody.
I think the cooking thing will work better next time. It'll be the third time, and third time's always the charm. Fine with running experiments, first 2 times always fail, and by the third time you kind of know what's going to happen and it works. So I will say that I don't really understand why. I'm sure there was a reason we didn't get the new club computer to do the networking, because the old one doesn't work. So I would recommend getting a computer that we can use for Field Day as a club computer. We were given the old computer that didn't work instead of the new computer to run the network. So that was not it. That's something that should get fixed for next time. He couldn't update it. Yeah. Here, you want us to talk, Tom?
The computer is fairly slow, so as you first turn it on, it goes through in its hibernation all of the updates that it needs to make. And finally, after that gets done, you get to the point where it's a 12-year-old computer. It runs like a 12-year-old computer. And
Yes, absolutely.
right. And so we used Sylvia's HP, which she uses for her Windows computer for her various radio stuff, and we use that as the master this year. It took a little work to get it configured to stay online. Screensavers kick in, and that knocks everybody offline. So all those things we experienced because it was the first time using it as a server.
So, and we really do appreciate everybody that stayed to help pack up, but we could have used another couple hands packing up. Because some of us were pretty dead by 11 o'clock in the heat and everything, and I was one of the people they made sit down in the shade and drink water rather than walk around and try and, yeah. So I get this shade of red, and Tom's like, "Sit down." Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was fun, and next year will be even better.
You're a great sport, and we appreciate you. They like that guy? Was he sort of like the Pied Piper of Hamilton? How cool. Ooh. I made a note about the computer. It should have been available to us. I was unaware that we had an issue, but we'll deal with that next year. Any other comments?
It was warm.
James.
All right, Tom knows this. I made a handful of contacts from home that I'm James, AE6JG, that I wanted to add to the club roster. And I uploaded first incorrectly, which blocked Tom from uploading our log. It's fixed. Tom, did it get fixed? It's fixed. So be aware of that. The ARRL forms are not intuitive. I would redesign them, but it's not my job. But I think it's great. I hope to be out there next year, and I hope it's a lot cooler. So thank you all.
It won't be.
It won't.
Was there somebody, another comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You there, Bill?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it was warm. I had a thermometer in my pop-up and it said at its peak 113.6.
Welcome to Sacramento.
Exactly. But it was fun. It was had a good time. And thank you, Sylvia, for the for making food. It was wonderful. No complaints whatsoever. If you had issues, it didn't show.
You know, Bill had quite a setup there. He brought his own tent. He had his own special space setup. He had his own vertical custom-built antenna. I mean, he was field day all by himself. I mean, he did a great job, and he pitched in to help everybody else. And if anybody wanted to help him, he said, no, I don't need any help. Isn't that right, Bill?
That is correct. This is very similar to the setup I use for my Parks on the Air, Support Your Parks weekend events that I do at Folsom Lake. I have a 6-person tent, and I set it up in a similar fashion where I've got my table, my rig, my batteries, and my cot all set up. And I'll be out there next weekend, I think the weekend of the 15th or whatever, or 19th, whatever it is. The third weekend is the Support Your Parks weekend. So I will be out at Folsom Lake camping for the weekend and having a good time.
Sylvia wants to know which campground.
I'm going to be at Beals Point, number 14. I like that one because it's not a lot of fun to get up and down because it is an uphill, or it is top of the hill, but it works out really well because there's nobody around me essentially, and it's private-ish, and it's a great little hill to set up my vertical. And I use my homebrew DX Commander vertical fan dipole. It's the only antenna that I use, and it's multi-band. I don't need any tuner. All the wire elements are cut perfectly for a good match on all the bands, so it works out really well. It takes about 2 hours to set up camp and break down camp, but it's a whole lot of fun. I have a good time with it.
Well, again, Bill, thank you. And so everyone knows, Bill is our CW operator. You were all CW, Bill?
No, I did CW, and then I did a bunch of FT4 and a little bit of FT8. So I did about half and half, roughly, digital and CW.
If you want to do CW next year, there'll be a test.
Bring it on.
I have a question.
Yes. What is the question?
Well, okay. Yeah. Yeah. My question, I think, is more for Tom. I'd like to know, what are the bands that you operated? Kind of the breakdown. How many contacts were phone and how many were CW and digital? And altogether, what was the total number of contacts in the score? I wonder if you have those numbers.
I do. I have a slide up here that Jen has got up there. Also, I'd like to say that people who do not have call signs, it's kind of fun to say your name phonetically. So I'm Tango Oscar Mike Tom. It's just like everybody else's call sign. It just goes over your head really well. And I didn't put my call sign on that first slide. Go ahead and flip to the next one. So Phil did mention that we had a triplexer with the Club Hex beam. That was put up on Friday around noon-ish, at least starting that way. And then the vertical dipole that Bill used, it has several wires that hang down from it for various lengths, so he can work multi-bands on one pole, basically. And then we had an inverted V for 40 meters. We even had a sort of horizontal 80-meter antenna, but we didn't have enough people at night to actually run it. So we had an 80-meter antenna with people that needed to stay up late to do it. The satellite operation was done by Bill, and he did gather a crowd going, ooh, what's that? And what's that thing you're pointing around at the sky? Again, since one of the computers we have, it was set up way back in the COVID era when we were working from home. We had a contest online score.com website, you can log on there and see where all our combined scores for everybody's house that was working in one place would log to there. So that was kind of still hanging on there. And I think it worked. I didn't even look, but if you ever want to check it out, it's used by a lot of contesters, and you just need to create yourself a login, and you can see what everybody else is doing during field day. And I put another bullet point, high temperatures. Bill said 113 in his white tent cave. And on our trailer, we have a couple of, in the front, some propane bottles that are covered with a kind of a fiberglass cover. And under there is our temperature, and I measured about 109. Sylvia says none of those were accurate because the weather forecast people said it was 104. But we were in the sun, and that's what we're going with. Next slide, please. Again, we had assigned roles. We didn't have everybody that could fill a role, so we had a band coordinator role that was had a badge that was waiting for a taker. So next year maybe somebody wants to wear a big badge that says band coordinator. We can have people kind of direct people. If you're hogging a computer, we can make sure you get onto a radio and make sure you have some time on it. Again, they mentioned Sylvia was handling our meals and snacks. We didn't have just food for dinner and for breakfast. We had donuts and cookies and potato chips and whatnot. We had a carrot at night for whatever coffee or tea or hot chocolate you wanted to make. We had hot chocolate in the morning. Apparently, we didn't have any coffee drinkers because the carrot really didn't get used, but the hot water did in the morning. We ran at Dry Creek Friday to Sunday. Sunday at 11, we finished up. And then Mike and Steve Sanderson were helping move the trailer. We thought, okay, an hour we could get it ready. Wrong. It takes a little more than an hour to put the trailer together and get everything in it. So close enough, an hour and 20 minutes. We'll use that next year and say an hour and 30 and give us a Scotty 10 extra minutes just to prove that we go ahead of schedule. All right, the next slide, or whatever happened here. All right. Getting to what Carol was interested in, I think the numbers are coming up soon for totals. Next. So we did have some pictures. Sylvia took a lot of them. They're on Discord. That's our club chat. And we've been doing this since 2020. So in there's a hashtag Field Day 2024. And I encourage anybody that had pictures and wanted to share them, go ahead and use and upload via the chat program. It's very easy to do, a lot harder to send it to Carol, and then Carol would upload them to the website and then et cetera. So I think this is probably an easier mechanism for most people to add in. And so this was the gadget that Bill was hanging around with his satellite and his little phone wrist Tracy display and whatnot. I think maybe he can describe it more if I can press, if you'd like to. All right. Okay. There's a mic next to you.
Hello? No, that's a arrow antenna. Yeah, it's a arrow antenna with a diplexer into a Kenwood TH72, which is a full duplex radio. And the whole setup with all the wires is kind of just to get the audio out of the radio without interfering with your own signal. Otherwise, if you were to talk at the same time, you'd pick yourself coming off the bird and there'd be feedback. So I'm wearing a headset and use the phone to figure out where to aim and to also record the audio of the pass, which I have some of the audio. That was the first ISS pass. It was about 20 minutes into the whole field day, and it was extremely rough. So maybe this will come through. As you can see, no one's making it through. There was, as far as I could tell, no one made a single contact on that pass. So it was poor conditions. And after that was too hot, so I stopped trying. But it's fun to still try anyways, and a lot of people are interested. So we got some people attempting also to make contacts. So it was fun.
Yeah, Sylvia has a video of you trying to make contacts, and that's up on Discord too. So there's one little video using her cell phone. Okay, and Carol then, as I said, maybe easier to do it that way, and then Carol can repost. Carol reposted it as well. And next slide. So here is our visitor table, and there's some of the vests that we were talking about. There's the back of one anyway. Neil didn't want to be facing forward when the photo was taken, and because he was greeting people. So there you go. And so that was our greeting table at the front. It's got some brochures from the ARRL with the band pass displays and a variety of things up there, and our sign-in sheets. Next slide. And we were solar power and batteries. So that is one of the solar panels. I think that's Ken's solar panel. He brought his new radio out and was learning how to use it. He had not used it before on field day. It's a Yaesu 710, I believe. And we were trying to turn the gain down because the display was so washed out with the strength of signals from the antenna, the Club Hex beam. And we learned that there is a separate gain control for the display, not the gain control that controls the radio and the audio frequency stuff. So that was good to learn, and he made contacts this year with the new radio. So bring a new radio and try it out. That was not one of the 2 radios that were done to try out. Next slide. I was in there too. Here is Bill's CW cave. Now you can see all his tent in there is white, and yet it was 113 degrees. So in the heat. He's got his bed there. He's got emergency batteries on the floor. He's even got a white tarp so he doesn't have to walk on grass. So there you go. And the little boxes, he's got it nicely set up. I think one of those is an ICOM 7300. And that's also what I brought, was an ICOM 7300. And those little wagons come in really handy for field day. If you make several trips, you don't want to, you can throw them in as much as you can in one fold up wagon and bring it over as you can. Next slide. Today on Facebook, they had some of the information on how across the country field day went. And they have various designations for the class of station you are. The class A is that you're a club using battery power and solar panel. And you can see that the clubs that are Class A were 20% of the country for that day. The Group B is also a club, but they're usually just 1 or 2 members at the most. And so there are Class Bs. There were almost 15% of those. And then there are some portable people. There was quite a few portable people. You can see there's 35% of those. The people at home, those were the really strong signals you could hear on the radio, and they kind of hogged the band, actually, from our point of view. Our little 100 watts were nothing compared to their 1,000-watt stations. They drew people like flies. And you can see that there were 43% approximately people helping out us, because they really don't get many points for being a home station on their cool antenna with their air conditioning while we are out in the heat. The next is, you can say they're home people, but on emergency power. So they go outside and fire up the generator and say, I am on emergency power. That's a different category. So that's E, if you were wondering. C is car or mobile. And EMC is emergency communication centers. They start those up, I don't know, for fires or earthquakes and whatnot. So there were 3% of those. So I was kind of interested in, you look at the results down at the bottom and see how many are what and whatnot. So I was thinking that there are more home stations and emergency stations than there ever are people going out in the field. So anybody here that worked from home, let me raise your hands. Let's find out. Bob did. James did over there. Which is nice and air conditioned, I'm sure. Did you throw out emergency power? Anybody? Oh, battery power at home. That's kind of a weird, so you could call that an E maybe, emergency power. Next slide. I'm getting to this, actually. supposedly our totals, but I forgot where I threw it in. It's in there. It's a kind of surprise for me because I threw it together yesterday and then I'm looking at it and going, oh, that's what I wanted to say. We use a logging software that was created by Ham N3FJP. We've used it as long as I've been with the club. And this was what it looked like at the end. We got all of the states this time in the country, which was nice. Some things we did not get. There's under the 4, there's a PR and a VI. PR is Puerto Rico and VI is Virgin Islands. We needed Carroll to go a week earlier. We could probably have worked Carroll on field day. At least we'd be looking for us, maybe. We operated as N6NA, November 6, November Alpha. You hear that over and over from each of us. Some people are cool and say November 6, North America, just to be even cooler. I haven't heard that this year. I think, Ken, you might have started that one year at any rate. All right. Or maybe it was. So Andy was the cool kid, and we followed his lead. Next slide. Here's the states we filled in, and you can see that the missing are, again, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and we missed some parts of Canada. Canada wasn't participating about in kind of right of middle. We did get Alaska and Hawaii, so yay. We got even some DX contacts. I remember somebody said they got Japan. I think it was Ken maybe, and next slide, we'll go on to what we worked. So this is the previous year. We did have an 80-meter antenna, and to prove we used it, we had 3 contacts on it. We did not use it this year, so I did not include it. We operated 40 meters, 20 meters, and 15. 10 meters was really not working, and we could have tried it, but we didn't. One of our club members brought a Yaesu FT DX10 in the box. Here, you did. And of course it worked. How about that? And you, I don't know what bands.
Yeah, I just brought out my FTDX10 that's been sitting in my room, but I don't have an outside antenna. So this is my first opportunity to hook it up to a real antenna and use full power and get a good workout. And with the help of Logger, Bill, and we were working 20 and 40, and I was able to make some very good, working either as calling or pouncing, and the bands were definitely very tight. But definitely it was a fun experience.
I'm familiar with that radio. That's the radio I ended up getting at home. So my 7300 that I bring for field day is now our trailer radio. We brought our trailer, and it went with the trailer, and we used it for field day. Again, our totals were 625. Phil, you were asking. That's totals all together. You can see digital is the FT4 and the FT8 that Bill was talking about. You're looking at it, you'd say, oh, we made more of those than we, well, actually it's so close that CW and digital, I think Bill was trying to make sure CW won on the encoded transmissions. And we did, previously we did a lot better in 40 meters. We had 289 the previous year, and we got 225 this year. I don't know why. I think the propagation was, as you said, was pretty good, except for 10 meters. 10 meters was basically local at best. Next slide. Yeah, that's 40 meters is the fun one, and that you don't ever give it up, so we didn't have an operator to run 80. You'd have to interrupt them to do so. All right, that's it. All right, that's it. Anybody that have any questions about field day? We, other than it's hot, we tried the air conditioning in the trailer, and we kept tripping the power switch circuit breaker, and that would knock our net offline. So we decided not to do that after it did it twice. But the idea was that it would be a cool-off area for everybody, but it didn't get used.
You guys all did a great job. Go ahead.
The question for Tom.
Carol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Tom, those of us on Zoom, we didn't see the complete slides. We only saw a little piece of them. They were like cropped. So if you send me the slideshow file, I'll edit it and make sure that we see the entire slides in the YouTube recording.
I can do that. And
Thank
Jen
you.
has it on the club computer as well. But when I get
Thank
home,
you.
I'll send it.
Thank you.
Bob?
Oh, this is Bob in 6PGQ. Like James, I operated from home and I did not operate from indoors that was air conditioned. We went to the backyard, set everything up portable, and it was hot. I've been threatening for 30 years to not go to a River City ARCS field day, to have a family field day. So all three of my boys came up. Two of them are hams and one is not. The non-ham made the most contacts of the three of them. He was having all sorts of fun. So he made 58 contacts on 40 meters. And so we were really proud of him. I uploaded the score that I had to ARRL, which, as you guys said, was a pain in the rear, and didn't take over the club's position, but used the club as an affiliated club. So my score will go in with River City ARCS also. We made, let me see if I can find it real quickly here. We made 165 contacts for 330 points, got 550 bonus points, and a total of 880 for a total score. And it's pretty good for 2 alpha. So we had fun.
Cool. And you also had the computers working with each other, I'm sure. So that was so. Neil was saying you were successful in setting that up beforehand. So that's good. That's it. All right. We'll pass it back to Phil.
Yeah. Can I also just tell Bob, thank you very much for working. We did a sked here between Puerto Rico and Bob last week. And if anybody else would like to try a sked, just send me an email. And I'd like to give you a contact here with Puerto Rico anytime.
Well, you guys did a great job. And obviously, we'll deal with that computer issue next year. There's no reason you guys can't use this machine. Other than I don't know that whoever had it at the time realized it should be at field day, but we can get that squared away pretty handily. About the only other thing I have for this evening is our door prize, unless we have any other questions, comments. James.
Several of us are members of Sacramento County ARRS, and we're looking for operators on Saturday, July 20th for the Great American Triathlon. And you don't have to be in ARRS to help out, but we need operators up and down the river between Sunrise and basically Sex.
Is that the old Eppes Great Race?
It's the old Eppes Great Race. So if anybody's interested, you can reach out to me or go to sacramentoarrs.org, and the sign-up's real easy.
And I have one announcement. So on the ARRS contact, we contacted Commander Mogbelli, and she's going to be in town on July 18th at the Folsom Lake College at 4 p.m. So July 18th, 4 p.m., Folsom Lake College, Buckeye Hall Room 173. First come, first serve to get seated there. I think it's for which club? I think it's for something related to Iranian American Cultural and Educational Center. So she'll be in town. I'm going to try to make it up there so I can give her one of our patches in person. And I hope some of the Girl Scouts will do that as well. Thanks to Joyce, Sylvia. Thanks for Sylvia to letting us know that this was happening. So again, if you want to go, July 18th, 4 p.m., Folsom Lake College. And you'll get to be able to meet the commander. Neil, you have a question? Yeah, I'll send it out to you guys. Well, I'll send it to those that are interested. You too. Thank you.
And one other group that's doing an event, the air show is this coming weekend at Mather, and the Sheriff's Amateur Radio program is going to be there as always. We co-locate with the fire department at all the medical tents, as well as provide safety monitors for some parts of this station. We've traditionally used D-Star for our data communications, and we are going to backbone as well an Arden network this year, just running it in the background to get stats, with the possibility that at a future event like this, we would move over to that. It's about 25,000 times faster than D-Star is, since it's only at 9,600. But if you happen to be out at the air show this weekend, look for the red and white striped trailers, or tents rather. We'll have one of our people at each of those. And then about midway, you'll see the Sharp trailer next to the big cooling station trailer that'll be out there. And that's our base unit, as well as somebody out at the command center over at the fire administration building. But you know, if you get a chance to see us doing it slightly different way.
We happen to have Marie Martin online here. Our member Dave Martin is not here this evening. Apparently he had to check into the hospital. I'm curious, Marie, if you could give us an update on Dave's condition. I see that. Marie, if you press the space bar, you can talk. She may be away from her computer. I just want to check, has everybody got a ticket? Everybody has a ticket? Considering how much information Tom gave us about field day, I think he ought to be the guy that picks out the winning ticket. Well, I'll explain that in just a moment. Don't read the number yet. The question was asked, what do we have? We have an ICOM 2-meter handheld. We have a 50-foot roll of RG8X. We have the infamous Nano VNA. And we have the tiny SA, which is a spectrum analyzer. So you can pick any one of these four, whoever the winner is. And what number do you have? 876. Let's make sure I'm not the winner. I'm not the winner. $876. Here comes a winner. Okay, your choice. Any of the four. You'll enjoy that. Now, let me caution you a little bit about this. This thing is extremely sensitive. And the connectors on it are those little tiny SMA connectors. Go online and buy an attenuator, either 10 or 20 dB attenuator, because otherwise you'll blow the front end. And I've gone through the challenge of replacing one of those. It's not an easy thing to do. So buy one of those attenuators before you use it, and you'll be a happy man. All right? Congratulations. Okay, anything else? These, when we came into this room, they had chairs on both sides of each of these tables. They were using it for lunch purposes. So we need to put the chairs back in that arrangement if you would be happy enough to help us. I appreciate your attendance. Thank you very much.
Very good night, and thank you for a wonderful meeting.
Wilson, James, Phil, Tom, Sylvia, any of you guys, Gert, I need equipment to go with you tonight because I will not be here next month. So equipment's got to go with somebody else. Hi. Bob and I are a little. I bet you want to talk to me. You know you want to talk to me. That's pretty funny. I asked in advance if you guys needed this machine.
Jen, you can stop the recording.
We got these with the old ones. Carol brought that.
Hi, Carol.
The breakfast tonight.
Let me tell you. Yeah.
Is Carol going to be here next?
Hi, Carol.
Yes,
See you
I will
later.
be.
Good night,
I will be
Bob.
there next month. I will be there next month. Thank you.